If I were to tell you that tonight you would visit heaven and experience something you could never have anticipated, how would you feel? Well, I'd been wanting it for a long time. Another level of experience with God than I'd ever had before. I was asking for it. Well, this night, it was going to happen.
I have to explain something here. It's about coffee.
Coffee. I love the smell of coffee. But something strange had been happening in my house, especially at night when I was going around from room to room praying. I kept getting hints of a coffee smell. Now, for a while, I was thinking I'd probably just left a used coffee mug somewhere or something, and I was smelling it. You see, my wife will tell you, I can be messy. I mean, look at my desk. But after a few days of this, I started to realise that there was no coffee cup lying anywhere. I thought, why am I smelling coffee?
By the way, if you're new to my channel, my name's Paul Hopkins, welcome, and I love nothing more than helping people like you have fresh spiritual experiences. Now back to what I was saying.
Sometime later, I'm sitting in a coffee shop, waiting for someone who's late. You see, at this point I work for a large Christian charity, and so does the person I'm meeting, and we've never met before, and we've arranged to meet to have a business chat in a coffee shop. But as I said, he's late. Eventually he turns up, a little bit flustered. I say, "Are you okay?" He goes, "I'm sorry I'm late," and a load of other stuff. And then he says, "And there were angels all over my car."
Did he just say there are angels all over my car? Is he one of those weird Christians? I used to think like that then.
So I carefully ask, "How do you know there are angels all over your car?" And he says, "Because it smells like coffee. Caramel macchiato."
What? So sometime later, in the evening, I'm back at home praying, and I think about the meeting in the coffee shop with this guy. I'm thinking,
that was a weird coincidence that he said he smelt coffee when angels are around. Do you think if I smell coffee, that means there's an angel in my house? So some time goes by, and one evening I'm praying and I notice the smell of coffee again. And I think, where is it? I walk around trying to find the source of the smell of the coffee. And eventually I think I've found it. And I stand in the middle of the smell thinking, this must be where an angel is. I'm standing right in the middle of it. So what do? I figure I'll just worship. I start to open my heart, focus on God, and sing gently.
And then it happens. Subtle at first. In waves, sort of an invite. A sense of an open door in this space that I can go in. But I had this strange fear rise up within me. Am I going to go a little bit crazy if I go this way? And am I going to become like one of those weird Christians?
At this point, I think I can hear something. The sense of distant singing. Should I head towards it? It's like I'm on the edge of a cliff and I have to decide whether to jump or not.
I mean, what would you do? I jumped in.
I've become aware of people around me. The more I try to see, the clearer it gets. I'm still standing in the dark, in a room, in my house, but now I'm somewhere else at the same time. There are people standing right next to me. The people around me become clearer. I realize they're huge and so close to me. Their thighs are at my head height, and they're singing. No, not singing, more like chanting, kind of like a football crowd chanting in time. I look up and can make out that they're all looking towards the front.
But I'm still in the middle of the room in the dark as well.
I start to move forward to get to see what they're looking at. I have to push past their legs to move forward, row after row. I've got my eyes closed as I'm having this experience and I'm walking forward. I think and realise eventually I'm going to hit the wall of the room. I take another step and another.
I should have hit the wall, but I haven't.
Another step, another step. Part of my mind is shouting, "You're going to hit the wall," but the core of me is going, "I don't care, I want to see what they're seeing."
Then I come to the front, and there's a clearing, an opening, and it's surrounded by these tall beings. And in the middle of the circle is another being about the same size as the others. And he's got his back to me. And it looks like he's dressed like a man who lives in the wild.
He's kind of dancing and thumping his feet on the ground as he slowly turns. I'm fascinated, drawn to him. Who is he? And as he slowly turns, I see the side of his face, and everything within me starts to tremble and realize that this is Christ. What? Christ? What's he doing? I think I want to see his eyes like in the book of Revelation, his eyes that are on fire. I suddenly just know that every stomp of his foot is him celebrating someone somewhere encountering him, meeting his love and his power, someone praying somewhere and having a joyful experience of him, of being rescued by him, of feeling forgiven by him, and then his eyes.
He turns and his eyes start to begin to look at me. For a fraction of a second, our eyes met. It was like the best experience and the worst experience at the same time. He knew everything about me. He could see into my depths, everything. And also, having seen the depths of my being, I realized he still loved me.
Some moments later, I'm coming back to being just aware of the room. I hadn't moved from the same spot. I was sure I'd walked. I felt my legs moving. I felt the floor underfoot. But I was in the same spot. And I was on the floor because I'd fallen to the floor when I'd seen his eyes. So, what did I learn from it? What would you have taken away from it? He's not religious. You have to be prepared to break out of your boxes of thinking. He's so amazingly different to what we expect, and that can be unnerving. He was meeting with people all over the planet, whether they believe in him or not. He's involved with us all of the time. That's why you can handle the fear of meeting him, because he adores you. Start your own adventure. Break out of the boxes. Be open to total surprise, even shock. Jump in.